Are you ready to learn the basics of ChatGPT, especially when you're working from home? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lai. I run a virtual assistant company here in the Philippines called To Use, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, at this point, ChatGPT has been out for more than a year already, and it's been crazy that I've been creating content about ChatGPT since December of last year as well, and I wanted to come back and come a little bit of full circle for those who still have not been able to use ChatGPT or try out ChatGPT in the first place. So I really want to walk you through the basics of it, terminologies of ChatGPT, and as well as like a few examples of how you can use it. The first thing, what is ChatGPT? It's basically an AI-powered tool that creates basically human-like conversation. So a best way that a friend explained what AI is or ChatGPT is imagine it's this really smart brain. Just imagine that, but it's in a box. Every time you send out information or ask it things, it comes out of that box, gives you information, and it goes back into that box. So that's kind of a cool way that you can think about it. It really needs to have you to prompt it, so then it can show up or basically do its work. It still needs a human being just like you. Now, there's going to be different terms that I'll be using throughout this video that I wanted to have you be more acquainted with. First one is the word prompt. A prompt is basically anything you input into ChatGPT or into any AI of like, hey, can you do this or can you create this? That's a prompt. You're asking it to do something. The second one is basically a thread. So a thread is a collection of the prompt and the response. So basically your question and ChatGPT's answer, that's a thread basically. And another term that I would like for you to also know is just prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is or has been something that's been developing as a career that a lot of people are getting into, which is basically mastering how to ask ChatGPT for certain things to get an actual output that they want. ChatGPT, again, works when you ask it for things. So the more specific you are, or just the more creative you are as well, of being to basically engineer how to ask it for certain things, then the easier it would be to give you the right thing that you wanted basically in the first place. Now, a few do's and don'ts when it comes to using ChatGPT. First, do use it as a tool. Now, a lot of people have, been scared of being replaced by ChatGPT or by AI in general. And the reality of it now, a year later, is yes, you will be replaced by ChatGPT or by AI if you let it, if you don't use it as a tool, if you refuse to learn at least how to use certain things, it's going to be hard for you to be able to not be replaced. So basically, people aren't going to be replaced by AI. People are going to be replaced by people who learn how to use AI. Kind of the magic of it. So first thing again is just use it as a tool for your day-to-day. I'm going to give you examples. I'll have different examples in products that we do have inside of my company To Use. That's just the first thing, is do use it as a tool. Now, don't use it as a final draft. Now, I've seen a lot of people make this mistake as well, especially in the last year, of just using ChatGPT as the first and final draft that they'll create for a paper, for an essay, for a social media post. Use it as a baseline. So when you ask ChatGPT, hey, can you create this post for me? Can you write this email for me? Don't use it as a final draft. Of course, add things of your own, make it yours, personalize it, add your voice. Don't use it as a final draft just because it will give you just more generic answers, just because it is just a bot basically that knows a lot of things about the world and just spouting out what it thinks you need. Do edit and optimize prompts. So what I mean by that is, like how I explained prompt engineering, you want to learn how to be able to optimize and edit prompts, because you can edit them after you put it into ChatGPT, so you can get more, again, specific and better responses from it. Now, a last big don't is don't give it sensitive information. Now, ChatGPT does keep the data that you input into it, because of course it's learning from how we're using it. So data like birthdays, full names, addresses, for example, make sure you don't have it on ChatGPT, because it can be repeated back basically to other people, and you definitely don't want that. So as much as possible, maybe just first names, maybe just a little bit of the company name, but as much as possible, don't offer it sensitive information. Now, how do you actually use ChatGPT? Now, on here on my screen, basically, I just have ChatGPT open. If you've never seen ChatGPT yet, this is basically what it looks like when you go into and you don't have anything yet. Now, I do have a ton of examples that I've used in the last year on here for ChatGPT, but I want you guys to look at this from a fresh slate. Now, I don't have the ChatGPT 4 yet, because I've been kind of holding out on it, to be honest, because I wanted to try everything on ChatGPT free for you guys, so to show you that you don't actually have to sign up or pay for ChatGPT. You just can use the base one. More so good, basically, rather than having to pay currently $20 a month for a ChatGPT Plus. Now, a few things that you need to set up basically into your ChatGPT. First is you want to set up essentially what we call the custom instructions, or what ChatGPT calls custom instructions. Now, before this, I used to teach the WOAH method. Now, what the WOAH method is when you are putting in a prompt, your first prompt into ChatGPT thread, you want to let ChatGPT know who you are. So that's W, the outcome that you need, the O. A is asking it, are you ready? And then the H is the how. Now with custom instructions, it's taking out the W and the H, the who and the how. So here is the who. I was like, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? To get a fast track there of like, I run a virtual assistant agency that hires, trains, and manages remote executive assistants for our clients, as well as providing a business operating system so that their business can run without them. So I've given it basically a basics of who I am in that sense. There you go. So I just added a little bit of like, hey, this is also my focus. So from there, I asked it like the how is straight to the point and then using bullet points or tables as needed. Now, as I save this, now anytime that I put in a new prompt into ChatGPT, it will already understand what it is that I'm asking of like, can you create a pitch I can use for my business? So even if I didn't put in, and before with the WOAH method, basically you did have to put in information about your business and who you are. I don't have to do that with ChatGPT with custom instructions. So here it just gave me like, hey, here's your concise pitch for your virtual assistant agency, and it already gave me the thing that I needed in bullet points, because I did ask it to make sure that it's concise, bullet points or tables as needed. So that's kind of a cool way, first prompt that you guys can see if you haven't used ChatGPT before. Now, this basically already jumps me into the next thing I was going to show you guys, which is basically how to create a thread. So a thread is, so this is basically one. We have the prompt, we have the response. We can keep asking it, can you make this into a one sentence structure? So I'm asking it basically from the output they already gave us. I'm asking it to refine it, make it a little bit better. And let's say I don't want this. Let's say this doesn't sound right for me. I'm going to go ahead and edit that. Can you make this into a one sentence structure that can be posted on Twitter? So that's what I mean by prompt engineering, is you are editing the prompt to make it better and better every single time, so then it can give you the more specific thing that you ask from ChatGPT. So right there, it even added like hashtags, because I said it's going to be posted on Twitter, or X as it is now known. But that's kind of the cool thing about just ChatGPT, is you can use it to optimize things, to make it a little bit better for yourself. Which of course brings me then to the next part of this video, which is basically how to use ChatGPT, basically some basic examples that you guys can do for your day-to-day when you're working from home. Well, first is brainstorming. So let's say I didn't have any idea on what my business is about. So I will ask ChatGPT, brainstorm with me. So let's say a marketing strategy for my business. Now, typically, before ChatGPT, it would take me hours of like research of going into things, and I will probably still go through a little bit of more research. But ChatGPT will already give me a pretty good marketing strategy, just because that's what I asked it for. Again, imagine it's the big brain that comes out of the box to give you the thing you asked, and it goes back in. So I basically just prompted it to give me information, but it already is giving me like, hey, you can do defining your target audience, creating an online presence, social media marketing. So again, from just brainstorming, if you're really stuck on something, you can ask ChatGPT to help you get unstuck. Next is you can ask ChatGPT to rewrite text. Now this goes for social media posts, emails, documents, anything you need. So as a funny way, let's go ahead and rewrite my LinkedIn bio. So I'm actually going to go into LinkedIn first, of course, to actually grab the bio that I have on there. So the thing with ChatGPT is you can ask it to make it sound more casual, sound more professional, sound funnier. So depending on what it is they need. So for example, let me grab this, which is just a short intro on my LinkedIn. Go back to it, rewrite my LinkedIn bio, make it sound professional, but not a mouthful. So I basically just ask it to rewrite that, and it says, we specialize in recruiting and training AI-enabled executive assistants, seamlessly integrating them with our custom business operating system for optimal business efficiency. That's one way, because I wanted to be more professional. So that's one way that you can ask just ChatGPT, can you rewrite this? Can you reword this? Can you also check the grammar or the spelling for this? a lot of people have been using that, and honestly for me it's a good bridge. If English is not your first language, you can ask ChatGPT to make you just sound a little bit smart, or just smarter than you actually are a little bit. But that's kind of the magic of using ChatGPT. Another way, like I said earlier, is you can ask ChatGPT to write emails for you. So let's say that you're trying to find a client and you want ChatGPT to go ahead and write you a cold email outreach that you can use. So write a cold email outreach I could use to email my target market. So then ChatGPT, again, it's the brain that's giving you the information that you asked for. We'll just go ahead and actually write that email for you. Again, don't use it as a final draft. Make sense of it, add information into it. Don't just accept it as it is, but it again breaks a little bit of that blank space syndrome, basically, of like you don't know what to write. You're just looking at a blank space. You're just looking at that, moving cursor trying to get you to write something. It just breaks a little bit of that writer's block as well. Next is you can use ChatGPT to create things like trackers. This is one that I've loved using. So I've used it to create scorecards for our employees at 2XU. I've used it to create just a habit tracker, create a performance tracker for the business. So with this, then it will start creating like, hey, this is what it could look like. Here's an example. It does it in table because I asked it to create table as possible. So it just makes it easier for me as a business owner to kind of imagine what this database would look like. If something in my head that I really want to get out of, I will brainstorm and work with ChatGPT on how to do just that. Now, another way that you can use ChatGPT is to summarize articles. Let's say you're reading a really good blog. You want to extract the best parts of it. You want to create your own little summary of it. So for example, here I have 2XU's blog of like how to create your marketing checklist for your business. So I'm literally just going to copy and paste all of this. So let me copy that. And can you write up the action to be done with this article along with a summary? So it'll just do that. It'll actually take things that was from the article and actually create like action steps for you. So it's really cool way to, like, for me, I read a lot of articles, I research a lot of different things, so ChatGPT just makes it easier for me to be able to just get the basic things that I really need from it without making me feel a bit overwhelmed. Now there is a ton of other ways that you can use ChatGPT. Within 2XU, we've created the AI Prompt Assistant, which is a collection of, I think we've now passed like 500 prompts of different ways that you can use ChatGPT for different tasks. And we also have the ChatGPT for Virtual Assistant course that basically is a more deep dive version of this video of just going through the basics of ChatGPT, how you can use it, especially if you're a virtual assistant, and different examples and ways you can use it even for job hunting. And of course, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below, have you used ChatGPT before? And if you have, let me know what ways. I would love to know. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.